Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 26 of Red Dirt and Stardust, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition science fiction, Western, and pirate campaign. Where last we left off, the group finished their shopping in Mask and watched the magnificent fireworks display before boarding the ship and heading off towards the Shadowfell system, where the group of them bonded over various gifts as well as their shared traumas, only to be warned that they were approaching the Shadowfell system, and the Shadowfell system has an effect on people. And so after spending a day bonding, growing closer, the ship creaks along. You notice there are less stars in the sky. The colors are starting to fade. And soon the air begins to get colder. A shadow passes over the ship. It's very clear at this point that you are at least entering the periphery of the Shadowfell system. Soon you begin to see formations, rocks floating, as per usual as you get close to certain things. And soon there are rocks with dark pine trees on them. You see shapes below you, shadows, big, strange. Some of them dart quickly, some of them don't. You begin to hear whispers. And this is the point when you realize Leonidas's words are true. The whispers warp. They dig into your mind. Perhaps it's the laughter of bullies as they beat you up. Your own voice coming back to you, crying as you miss your parents. Rude things people have said to you, offhandedly or not so offhandedly. Your own secrets, whispered in tear-filled voices. It's not a pleasant time, but you'll adjust to the voices. You see, surprisingly, life. Creaking along occasionally is a boat, of which there's a oarsman in a cloak. One of them turns to look at your boat briefly. You see taut skin over empty eyes. They've reached the stage of mummification where their mouth is a circle, the skin pulled back, and the teeth showing. But they simply row on. Some of them have passengers. There are an increase in bats. Dark birds fly very high through the sky, very big birds. And you begin to see creatures, strange squid-like creatures, with many eyes around the center of their bodies, long sort of tentacles that flap and float through the air in groups. If any of you would like to make a nature check for those particular creatures, you certainly may.
Yep.
But you were...
I'm poop at that? Yeah.
Let's see. That is going to be a dirty 20.
Nice.
All right.
I got a 22.
I also got a dirty 20.
So
We're just
all
a very
three of you... So Velantrios, Chauncey, and Jed, you all would, through various methods, whether it's rumors on the wind from people that have been to other places and have seen other animals, books or sailors' tales from various bars, these are probably dark mantles. They're almost like the butterflies of dark places like this. Back when the world had an Underdark, they would be here in droves, and now they've migrated to the Shadowfell. They're harmless, insectoid creatures. Some people keep them as familiars or pets. Other people kill them as pests. But they're relatively harmless. And you see lots of them just floating around. So now that you have entered the Shadowfell system, is there anything in particular that you all would like to do on the ship as you all are sailing towards Skullport?
I'm good.
I'm just gonna finish the outfit for Velantrios. My day and a half of sweatshop sewing in the corner.
Yeah.
Velantrios is looking at Chauncey and he's like, Are you sure you want to be doing that right now? I don't want you to be negatively influenced in your decision making for clothing.
Velantrios, as if I'd let something as silly as some emotions get in the way of my craft. Honestly, it's almost insulting.
Thank you.
Okay, you emotionally constipated puppy.
I don't know if I'd say emotionally constipated. I'm just dedicated to my art. Be gone.
Okay.
The master has work to do.
Oh god, I can only imagine the effect this is having on Lyla and all of her friends.
Oh, they are honestly just fine. See, the thing is, they're all excellent coping mechanisms for emotion.
They're all each other's coping mechanisms. Yay!
Yay!
It's sort of like holding your own hand.
Yeah, kinda.
Weirdly.
The one that Velantrios is more concerned with, besides himself, is Jedidiah. So he just
I was born in the dark.
Okay, Batman.
Perfect, I love it.
All right. So as you all continue sailing, the forest breaks way, and you begin to see small islands, sorts, with pine trees. Of course, the same dark black pine trees. But on one of the islands, as your boat is creaking by, you notice there's a giant bird skeleton laying on it.
Oh boy.
Fuck you,
And as you
Scrappy.
get closer...
Seriously, though.
As you get closer, you notice the wings still have some feathers on it.
Okay.
And there's also a saddle. And there's a person running across the island to that saddle. At once, the bones seem to pull themselves together as it rises into the air, flapping its wings, shadows knitting the bones together. And it begins to fly towards you. The crew is confused. They're not sure whether to attack or to defend or to just stay silent and see what happens.
Normally Velantrios would like to be optimistic, but considering the situation and the voices in his head, he's gonna be like, Shh, guys, I don't like the sight of this.
Nope, nope. That's
Nope.
Insight check, perception check, something. Is it hostile?
You know what? Give me an insight check.
How far away is it?
I would say at this point it's about 120 feet away.
Whew. Oh, thank God. 22.
Just
Oh
god.
With the speed at which this person riding this horrifying bone bird is flying, and also the fact that you watch them pull out what appears to be something similar to a weapon Chauncey uses
Oh,
quite
fabulous.
regularly.
Yeah.
They're probably hostile.
Delightful.
Hey,
Can I message cantrip them?
I was literally like, that's all I was gonna say. I was like, can I
Yeah.
message?
Can Shaw and I both message? Back up! Back the fuck up!
Not today.
Did you say hold out a blade?
I rebuke you,
A
Satan.
gun.
Oh,
Put a gun.
hold out a gun.
Pulled out a gun.
Water
been
Not like
If you keep flying over here, I'm gonna shoot you.
Blade ward.
do you message that?
Yeah.
All right. You get back. Well, that's unfortunate. If you don't hand over all your golds, then I'm going to shoot you.
Firebolt.
All right. Roll to attack.
17 to hit.
Who are you hitting?
Are the options the bird or the dude?
Do the
Yes.
bird.
Yeah, I guess I'll do the bird.
Well, it's lucky you chose the bird, because it hits.
Sweet.
Roll damage.
And now I get to add my charisma modifier to damage. So that is
Yay.
13 fire
Woo.
damage.
That'll do.
All right.
Wow.
It just crumbles to dust underneath him.
You hit it with the firebolt.
He's like, huh?
He's coming to steal all our shit, guys.
As the
How far
firebolt
away is
hits this thing's chest, you see the breastplate crack a little bit, but seems this thing is incredibly sturdy. And at this point, I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative.
Did you catch that blade ward?
Yes, you have Blade Ward up.
Word. All right.
So it lasts, what, a round? So it'll probably go away at the end of your turn if you cast it that early?
It is. Yeah, until end of next turn.
Yeah, so if
Which
you cast it now,
probably-
I will say your first turn it will go away.
Yeah, probably not going to do me very much because I got a 19. So
I got a 15.
I got a
For
16.
too long, I have rolled horribly for initiative.
15 for Velantrios, 19 for Lyla. What for Chauncey?
16.
16 for Chauncey and Jed and Shaw.
14.
3.
3 for Jed,
What?
14 for
First
Shaw.
fire.
One.
Well, you did already get an
Damn.
attack off, so I guess.
Well, first up is this person on the back of this giant bird. As they get closer, you all notice they have a sort of purple skin and silvery hair. And he aims the gun directly at you, Jed. And he is going to fire his gun. And that's going to be an 18 to hit.
Shield.
All right, so it doesn't hit as you throw up your
Fire.
shield. And yep, that's actually going to be the end of the Drow's turn. So next up is Lyla, followed by Chauncey.
okay. Debating. Yeah, let's go. Yeah. I'm gonna do an unsettling words and a suggestion, but on the bird.
All right. What does unsettling words do again?
Unsettling words uses my bardic inspiration as a debuff on the next save.
All right. How much is that debuff?
A d6.
A d6. Okay, so d20 charisma save for that suggestion.
For the suggestion, hang on one sec. This is a new spell for me. It's a wisdom save.
Wisdom, right.
Yes, and it is a d20.
Ooh, that is a surprising. All right. All right. All right. So with the suggestion, even with the debuff, the D6 debuff, it gets a 21 on its save.
Holy ass tits.
Wow.
All right.
Apparently,
wise
this
as
thing
fuck.
has a lot of wisdom, so the
Wise
spell
bird.
fails.
Fucking bird. Jesus. All right. Well, that was me. That was my
Hey-waisted
bonus
bird.
action. My action. Hang on. Let me make sure I marked that I cast that. All right. Moving out of fire range because that sounds smart. Can we do something like that?
Yeah, I'll say you can move somewhere else on the ship using your movement speed. So we now have Chauncey, followed by Velantrios, and then Shaw.
So how close is this guy flown to the ship now in order to shoot Jed or try to shoot Jed?
I'm going to say that it is 60 feet away from the boat.
Okay. So, I mean, Chauncey saw this incoming. Jed had enough time to cast, and he didn't cast any spells or anything, but he did. Instead of pulling out his hammer, he pulled out his gun like a responsible person. He's got shield and gun out. So I'm just going to try shooting him. First shot with my gun. Like, hey, I can do that too. Here's one shot. Okay, what's my attack modifier on
And who are you aiming for?
I'm gonna aim for the drow.
Right.
My gunfight, bitch. 27 to hit.
Jesus Christ, yes, that hits.
Holy ass.
That is so OP.
Plus 9 to hit.
I need a gun.
If
Wizard
you
with a
guys used
gun.
attacks, maybe you could there's this thing called weapon attacks that you can make in D&D that let you add your proficiency bonus and your modifier to hit. Okay, I rolled shit for damage. So
Oh my god.
All right.
he's only gonna take 9 damage from the first shot. 9
All right.
magical piercing.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Robot
shit.
Chauncey?
Next
Robot
shot
Chauncey. Okay.
is only a 13.
That does not hit. It seems he's wearing some kind of armor as the bullet pang bounces off of him.
And I know Lovey May can't get there, but I'm pretty sure. Let me double check if
Haley Poe might be able to
dart can
shoot.
hit him.
Your camera has also frozen.
Yeah, she's got a force dart. Oh, great. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you. It's just your camera's somewhat better now. We're watching a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
gross, my
no.
internet turned on stable.
It's all good. I think you're
We have
quite close
production
now.
values on this show.
Yeah.
What is she technically? She's a homo.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mark my bardic inspiration.
So yes, I believe Haley Poe does have a ranged attack if you'd like to use that.
Yeah, we'll try to hit him with the ranged attack. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
That just hits as he thinks he's able to block this force dart before it slams into whatever flesh is exposed between this armor. So how much damage does Haley Poe do?
5 points.
5
Just
points
5
of
points of
damage.
force damage.
All right.
That's all from me. Oh,
All right. So next up after Chauncey is Velantrios, followed by Shaw. Velantrios, what would you like to do?
So Lyla, did you try to use the command on the bird or the guy?
I tried suggestion on the bird.
Okay, I'm gonna try command on the guy.
What are you commanding him to do?
I'm going to say the word jump.
All right. And does command work on creatures? It's not a charm effect. Command is not a charm effect, correct?
I
It's
believe that is
enchantment.
correct.
I have to ask because things. Because
Correct.
reasons.
Okay.
Undead doesn't understand your language or if your command is directly harmful to it.
Okay, so no, it is not a charm effect. Cool. So he does not get advantage on this. So it is a what saving throw?
Wiz.
Gods, I just had it.
It's wisdom.
Yeah.
Wisdom. All right.
Wisdom 16.
It gets a dirty 20.
Why am I not surprised?
Nice.
Apparently, these people are just very, very wise.
1 second.
You got a bonus action?
Well, where do I find my bonus actions? Is it under actions?
Yes.
So can I do Thorn Whip as or that's 30 feet?
And also, I think Thorn Whip is an action.
What about Guiding Bolt?
That is also an
An
action.
Okay, where do I find bonus actions? Oh, there it is. Under bonus action.
Yeah.
My only bonus actions are healing. Never mind.
And no one's been hit.
Not yet.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have Shaw, followed by Lay Bird.
All right. It's 60 feet away, you said?
Yes.
All right. About 20 feet between it and us. No, 10 feet between it. 10 feet in front of it towards us. Giant storm starts to form, 40-foot diameter. Raging storm of thunder and lightning. I'm casting Storm Sphere. He has to make a
Oh.
strength save.
Strength save.
They both have to make a
Both
strength
of
save.
them have to make a strength save. Okay.
Yeah.
So white is the bird, yellow is the drow. So the drow did pretty well with a 23. The
Okay,
bird,
that
however, the bird did pretty well. It got an 18.
Okay, so they both take half damage of 2d6, which is 6 because I rolled a 12. And then bonus action, a bolt of lightning is gonna strike the drow from within the storm. Hold on, I have to roll at advantage because he's inside the storm. Jeez, those were both horrible rolls. This is a 15 hit. I assume not.
No,
Oh
a
wait,
15
actually,
does
you know what? That 16 plus does a 22 hit.
a 22 does hit.
I'll use a portent. Why not?
Oh, damn. Okay.
And he'll take 14 damage.
Oof. This drow has taken a beating.
The storm is 40 foot in diameter, and anything within the storm or within 20 feet of the storm has disadvantage on anything to do with hearing.
All right. Good to know.
It
So
is
that
a
means
very loud, a very big storm.
Yes. All right. So it is now the bird's turn.
Oh, and it's difficult terrain.
Oh, it is difficult terrain. Okay. So that means it's not going to get its 90-foot fly speed.
That's cool. It's airborne difficult terrain.
Yeah.
I know.
Badass.
So you said it was 10 feet in front of it. It has a
Yeah.
20-foot radius, you said?
Yeah.
So that
So
means to get
that's-
out of it, it would have to fly 20 feet, which means it would lose 40 feet.
Yeah, if it was going backwards away from us. If it was coming towards
It's going
us.
to go to the side.
Oh, that works too. Yep. It's also 20 feet. Yep.
So that'll be 20 feet. So it'll be 40 feet.
Yep.
So it'll only have 50 feet of movement once it gets out of the storm. And it's 60 feet away, so it will not be able to get to the boat. However, it will get within 10 feet of the boat. And that's the only thing that it can do. Now, we finally get to Jed.
Uh-oh.
All right. First off, quicken spell, Mind Sliver on the drow.
Cool. What saving throw is that?
It's DC 17, and it is where's Mind Sliver?
Intelligence.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Oh, he rolled a 2, so that doesn't matter. His +0 intelligence
Okay.
doesn't matter. He's getting
He's
fucked.
taking 9 psychic damage and has to subtract 1d4 from the next saving throw, which is going to happen right now. Fireball, bitch.
Nice.
I just go,
All right.
burn. And this big fireball happens, which is DC 17 dex save.
All
both of
right.
them.
So white for the bird, yellow for the drow. Well, the drow rolled. The bird failed. If it's 17, yeah. Oh. It gets a 16. Bird fails. Drow got a 17 plus. So that would be a 23, and then with the 1d4,
It doesn't matter.
would be a 20.
Cool, he takes half. Fireball. Oh boy, I get to roll fireball damage for the first time.
This is
Yay.
exciting.
So many dice. 29 plus 5. 34 halved to 17 for the
I guess it
drow.
would be 17. Jesus, 17. Good lord.
And 34 on the bird.
Go.
34 on the
Valid.
bird.
Valdi.
Yeah.
I will reduce you to ashes.
You definitely see the bones have started to crack. The feathers are, there's almost like the steel wool burning sort of thing with the red embers on it as it's smoking. It gives out a horrible cry, a weird undead croak as the drow kind of dusts off his armor.
And then I go, and I want to go somewhere, stand where I'm not near anyone else.
All right. So the drow
Brave.
is going to pull out the gun and just say, "Nice trick," and fire at you again, Jed.
Why are you so obsessed with me?
Well, you fired on him first.
Fan behavior.
Oh my god, I cannot roll for shit today. He gets an 11 as this bullet just crunch hits the boards next to you as he kind of looks at his gun a little bit. And that's the end of his turn.
You really thought
and
you could come to
so-
a whole goddamn ship full of a bunch of people in the Shadowfell system? Like we weren't fucking prepared for this? All by yourself? Who do you
Fuck
think you are?
you.
Like,
It's hard out here. Fuck
no
you.
shit. Go get a job.
And so we move on to Lyla with
Oh,
Chauncey on deck.
Velantrios is just like a moment where it's like, go home and beg for your mother's forgiveness.
Not repressing your anger so much no more, are you, Jed?
All right, so Lyla with Chauncey on deck. Lyla, what you doing? This bird is 10 feet away from the boat.
What are we going to do? God, I have so many wisdom save things. And I feel like that's a bad idea. So let's go. Oh, you know what we'll do? That's what we'll do. We'll use that fan that I just got. So actually, let's go unsettling words again, only this time we'll give it to the drow. So that's minus d6 on the save, and then we'll use the fan to cast Gust of Wind.
All right. And remind me what Gust of Wind does.
That is a line of strong wind, 60 feet long and 10 feet wide, blast from you in a direction you choose, duration, strength save, push 15 feet. And then it's difficult terrain. It's not, but it says they have to spend 2 feet for every 1 foot.
Okay, so yeah, it basically is difficult terrain rules.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so bird.
And I can change the direction the wind goes on a bonus action, but at any rate, yeah, let me cast that, use it, whatever.
All right, so white will be the bird, yellow will be the drow, and the drow is the one that has the unsettling words on it, right?
Correct, yes. So that's a
All
minus
right.
1 6 on that one.
Oh. And it is a what strength saving throw?
Strength, yes.
So the bird gets a whopping 8.
Okay, that is a failure.
And then the drow gets, oh wow, gets a 19. Has a +1 strength, got a -1 from the unsettling word, so it gets a flat 19.
Which is perfect, because that means the bird got pushed and the drow didn't.
That's all I was gonna ask. Is the drow off the bird now?
I'm going to roll a D100 because technically
was-
he is mounted on
Yeah, that's why I was
the
like,
bird.
this is
So I'm going to
interesting.
roll a D100 to see if the wind is strong enough to unseat him from the mount.
Fingers crossed, because that's kind of what I was hoping for. Like,
It's kind of amazing.
I don't like the face.
Yeah.
Sounds like it went well.
The bird does a full 180 flip in the air as it moves 15 feet, and you watch as this drow off of this bird.
If I remember correctly, also puts it within the 20-foot range of the sphere that...
Oh, is it back in the storm?
No, didn't you say if it's in the sphere or within 20 feet of the sphere?
Yeah. Well, no, the middle of the sphere. If it's,
okay. I'm
it
sorry.
can't hear though.
I thought
Well,
it had a range
It has
outside.
it has disadvantage on like any perception to do with hearing.
Gotcha.
It is
okay.
closer to the storm, but I wouldn't say that it was in the storm because it was 60 feet away. You put it 10 feet in front of it. It got moved back 15 feet after being 10 feet, so it's not in the storm. The drow, however, falls off and into the water. And I'm going to roll something else. Yep. You watch as this drow struggles to the surface of the water, only for a giant, gray, rocky creature. Looks kind of like an anglerfish with a huge light on its head, swinging back and forth, comes up and bites it. The drow is swallowed whole before it descends back down into the shadowy water. The bone bird, however, is still flapping, confused without a rider, unsure of what to do.
Ew. Get out of here.
Oh, now get.
So, Chauncey, it is your turn. It seems your internet is better. So, Chauncey, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
I guess that takes care of him.
Does a 28 hit the bone bird?
Yes, it does.
What was that guy's deal?
That's gonna be a. Let me see here. What I add +6, so 18 piercing damage on the first shot.
Good lord.
And does a 25 hit?
Oh, yes.
That's gonna be a 15 piercing damage on the second shot.
Yep.
And for a 4 start, an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Jesus.
And that's only 4 points of force damage.
Well, every bit counts.
Oh, Taily Poe.
All right.
I choose you.
I know. So now we are at Velantrios. This bird is still flapping, confused in the air. What would you like to do?
Stream of the waves.
All right. So remind me what that does and what option you're using, because I think it has multiple options.
I conjure a deluge of seawater in a 15-foot radius, 10-foot tall cylinder centered on a point within range. The water takes the form of a tidal wave, a whirlpool, or a water spout, or any other form of choice. The creature must make a strength saving throw against it or take 2d8 bludgeoning damage. And
all right,
I am going to do a would a whirlpool work?
Sure.
It would be just water spiraling in the air, but yes.
Go
Right.
for it.
I'm just gonna do like a violent whirlpool with it, and then let me do the
What is the save? Because he still has to save.
strength 16.
Strength
Fucking
16.
this guy up with different elemental orbs.
I know.
Yeah, for real.
How?
Fireball,
How?
gust
Okay,
of wind,
18.
freedom of the wave.
Damn it!
Yeah.
I am so sick of not having any effect on me.
Silvery bars.
Does it do half silvery barbs?
Silvery barbs that chicken.
Make fun of that chicken until it
13.
dies.
It got a 13, so
Just go
Thank
bop,
you.
bop.
And I'll give the advantage
That
to
was
Chauncey.
amazing.
It does
Oh, what a bad roll.
6 bludgeoning damage.
6 bludgeoning damage.
Yep.
And
As
it
this-
falls prone.
Wait, you can choose a number of creatures equal to your spell. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so you said 6 bludgeoning damage.
Correct.
As this creature is whirled around, the water slamming into it, you notice the water is doing more damage to it than you think it should have.
Oh yeah. That's the stuff.
That makes sense. Okay.
All right. So is that the end of your turn?
Yeah, there's not much I can do besides.
All right. And yes, it does fall prone. It doesn't seem like the water keeps it in place. So it too is going to fall into the water.
I feel bad for whatever angler.
Poor bird.
However, the anglerfish seems sated with its previous meal and does not return.
Did we have to kill the bird too?
So after Velantrios' turn,
Two
it
for
is
giant birds
Shaw's
on the
turn.
boat, baby.
Oh shit! God damn it! Well, the bird's alive in the water.
Yep, it is
Yeah.
alive in the water.
Is it within 60 feet of my giant storm still?
60 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, can you move it?
No, it's just the
Oh.
lightning bolt can only go 60 feet.
Oh,
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
it
of.
was
Out of your.
Yeah.
pushed back 15 feet. It fell. Yeah,
So
I would
again,
say
like,
it
how
is
high
within
was the
60
flying?
feet because you put it 50 feet away when the bird was 60 feet away. So it is within 60 feet.
Do I normal roll or disadvantage for a attack roll at ranged?
Ranged attack against a prone.
It's prone, so disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
So
Like I'm
It's
pretty
weird.
sure. Does a 13 out?
A 13 does not hit.
Cool. Well,
Somehow
a lightning bolt just strikes the water next to it.
It thrashing in the water, it's hard to get a bead on where it's going. So yeah, after Shaw, it is the bird.
of course
I'm
it is.
going to make a wisdom check for it since its rider is gone, but its wisdom is pretty good. And it flies away. It rolled a 3 and gets a +6, so it did not do very good. So it's going to use all 90 of it. Well, actually, it would only use
It's prone, so that's the
50. It would only use 45. It would use 45 feet of its movement to get out of the water and then fly 45 feet away. And then it's going to use its action to dash 90 feet. And you all are out of initiative.
Yay.
Wait.
What the hell was
wait,
that?
wait.
Bye bye, birdie.
Wait. But I have a spell that's 240 foot distance. Can I still touch it?
I thought you didn't want to kill the bird.
I guess
Use
you
your
can chill touch
spyglass,
it.
Luke.
You said
I guess you
Oh
can
my
chill
God.
touch it. What's the saving throw?
It's just a to hit.
Oh, it is a to hit. Okay.
Oh no,
Roll
it
to hit.
misses. It's a 9. It misses.
The Tressum paw takes us about half a second too long to form and swipes, missing the air as it just this bird just shoots off into the distance.
love it.
I don't think the locals like us much, do
Playing
they?
fucking sucks.
This place really. Did y'all see the fish?
I don't think we should try to take any
What was
swimming
his
lessons while we're-
don't
Why
know.
are
What
we
was he
spending so
thinking?
much time on
Oh,
the deck?
Wait, I can barely hear y'all. Hold on.
The storm goes away.
What?
Well, it seems like we've had some people take notice of us. I've heard this tends to happen with living people here in the Shadowfell, so we definitely should be more on guard.
Gee, thanks for the heads up.
So kindly for the Timely warning.
As you all continue creaking along, the islands become fewer and far between. You begin to see dancing light along the surface of what should be the water, almost as if light was hitting the water. The boat rocks a little bit as if it's in waves. However, you do see a rock coming up towards you all. Beneath it seems to be a smashed up rowboat. And standing on top of this rock, her arms crossed, almost angrily as she stares down at it,
Oh,
is
hi.
is what appears to be a succubus.
Is it the
As you
same
get-
one?
You don't know. As you get closer, she seems to look up, and she cups her hands and yells, "Permission to board?"
No.
Who are
Who
you?
are you?
What? LOL, what?
I'm Zelina. I mean no harm.
Insight check.
Yeah, bet.
Yeah, insight check.
Who's our
Second
insight boy?
I'm using my ring.
Oh yeah, you do have that ring.
Oh yeah, right. Let me hit that up real quick.
17. Thank God. 'Cause
Anybody
the other
else?
one was a 1. It was a natural 1 was the other one.
Nice.
Ooh.
I got a 24.
Jesus Christ.
Good lord.
This is supposed to be my thing.
And what's Lyla getting?
Oh, I'm good. No, I don't
Oh,
even
okay.
have to check it. I just straight up don't trust the bitch.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm like, she's clearly doing something horrible.
She
Yeah,
might
no,
need
I
our help.
To you two, Velantrios and Shaw, she doesn't seem to be doing anything nefarious. She seems to be speaking the truth.
But she's a succubus.
Okay, and you suck.
Like, those
Damn,
aren't like
Plus,
succubi don't just like hang out up here, right? They stay in the infernal areas. Like,
I mean,
I
we
think
saw
we can
we've
trust
seen
her.
angels in weird places. I don't
yeah,
see
when
why
they came to try to kill us.
Like,
So-
if I've learned anything, it's don't trust your freaking predispositions. Okay, so
Velantrios is looking at Jedidiah and is like, "What? So all infernal beings are just inherently untrustworthy?"
Oh my God,
Generally, yes.
are you
Yeah.
armed?
Pretty much, yeah.
Velantrios is like, "Have you looked in the mirror lately?"
Hey, I'm
Oof.
not actually infernal. I just look like this, okay?
Okay,
Like,
what do you? And what about me? Okay,
you know, you're a big walking mystery, baby. If you come up and try anything, I will kill you. All of us will. We just killed a guy just because he came here randomly. We'll do it again.
Have you seen
I
the
was
fish here? We
waiting.
will throw you in the water.
We'll
I'm
do
just
it
gonna lean
again.
towards Jed. Honey, not vinegar.
murder
I
hobos.
don't think we need to catch her. We're doing her a favor, all right? Like,
Oh.
So I heard somebody ask if she was armed.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you count a small pair of hair scissors. No.
Chauncey could do a
do.
lot with a pair of scissors.
Scissors count.
Chauncey can kill a
Velantrios
man
looks
with those
at Lyla
scissors.
and he's like, you know, maybe she could help you with.
Excuse
This.
me.
I would
She
be
can help
happy
me
to
with-
give a free haircut for a ride to Skullport.
Why is everybody talking up?
I say
had
we pick
enough
her
of
up.
this.
We
I'm
need,
going
we
back
should
to the
let's
cabin.
pick her
Well,
up.
Lyla, the
Don't deal with that on your own.
the salt seawater isn't exactly doing your hair any favors.
Okay, Leonidas, we're gonna pick her up.
All right, fine. Permission to board.
I don't trust it.
Not one
And
bit.
she waits for the ship to come closer before she kind of hops off, and her wings spread as she glides onto the ship and lands,
She a demon.
dusting off her dress. Well, you certainly had a long discussion.
Yeah.
First
Who
thing
are
that
you? Why are
happened-
you here?
Well, I am Zelina. I am a hairdresser by trade. I kind of gave up the whole succubus thing. Wasn't really working out for me. Also, I made quite a few enemies in the lower planes, and I'm not welcome there anymore. So, kind of
Oh.
looking for a new home. Planning on visiting Skullport, see if I can get any ships out to somewhere else. But my boat kind of crashed. The waves are incredibly choppy here, and I'm not used to rowing a boat. It's a lot of work. But like I said, I'm perfectly willing to give a few haircuts for free. Well, relatively for free.
You want to go back on the
Yes.
rock?
I'm sorry, you just set out in the middle of
Yeah.
the ocean with a rowboat and a dream.
I had no other choice at this point.
And this is where you chose to come?
When you have a pit fiend coming after you, you kind of have very little choices about where you're going. You just need to run.
Pit fiend coming
So-
after you? How close behind you is this pit fiend?
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Sound like we should
reiterate
put her back
how
on the rock.
much- Yeah, I don't want anything to do with it.
We've got enough entities coming after us already.
It's one more.
Velantrios, like, personally, I could use a haircut. Lord knows he's been in the forest. He hasn't exactly been to a hairstylist ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Yeah,
would certainly be
take the
happy
one
to
who-
provide. I know other people are not as trusting, but
My
No.
tongue comes out like a snake and hisses.
I
Velantrios
see I'm in
turns
like
around.
company.
Velantrios does the same thing to Jedidiah.
Except it's just a normal human tongue that comes out.
No, he has like a serpent tongue.
I guess maybe.
Listen, if Jedidiah can have a serpent tongue, I think the son of the devil can have one.
Fair enough.
I
Yeah,
don't
so
have
a
a
serpent
serpent
tongue
tongue.
comes
Mine is
out.
an illusion.
Yeah,
Like-
Jedidiah's serpent tongue is a minor illusion. Probably.
Right.
Whereas yours is the real deal.
Mine is the real deal. Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll do it for free. Let's find something to sit you down on. What are you looking for? As she pulls out a pair of scissors. These are gorgeous scissors. They are silver. They have almost stained glass butterfly wings that are coming off of them. They look like they're of elven make or elven design of some kind.
Mm-hmm. Demon
Wow,
got
Chauncey,
her hands on some
Chauncey,
fairy
I thought
scissors.
you had nice scissors, Chauncey.
Velantrios is looking to Lyla since she's the fashionista, as well as Chauncey since he's the one doing his clothes, and he's like, "What do you guys think would work for me?"
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure I should be giving out any advice with my dry ass hair and all.
I said because of the seawater.
Mhm.
Chauncey,
Chauncey's too busy looking at those scissors. He's like, "Can I see those scissors?"
Unfortunately, no, I
Mhm.
don't like
'Cause
to
they-
part with them.
Yeah, they gonna put a curse on somebody. That's what's gonna
Can
happen.
I ritual cast detect magic while Velantrios gets a haircut?
Sure.
I'm worried about letting these potentially magical scissors touch Velantrios' hair without any information on them.
I can guarantee you that these scissors only give incredible haircuts. That's the only thing that they do. Truth be told, I'd been looking to get out of this whole succubus business for quite a while. It's annoying day in and day out, same thing over and over. But I came across a fairy who was willing to teach me and agreed to give me a pair of scissors as a gift after I finished. However, I guess he found a loophole in the deal and well, let's just say I traded in a few favors and the fairy found himself under a rock. And I took the scissors for myself. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there.
Mhm.
But
Told
now that I
you.
have the tools of my trade, these will...
Velantrios. Sorry. Velantrios is just gonna request like something like loose curls with a bit of a wave.
Ah, yes, wonderful. All right, I will get to work on that. And she takes the scissors, opens them, and as she glides over your hair, these scissors start snipping at the speed of light. It is a blur as these things just.
Love it.
And they seem to bounce and curl the hair. She does take about maybe an inch off of your hair, but she does that just to get the split ends out. At the end of this, you do have a lovely, lovely waves and curls. It takes about maybe 10 minutes to get this whole process done before she steps back and gives the scissors a twirl.
You actually have a drawing.
Well, we can barely see that, but
Oh, there we go. I can see it a
Amazing.
little bit.
yeah. Well, that is my work done. And like I
Thank
said, this is for free. And since we are in the full disclosure, as I'm sure you all would like to know exactly what the prices are, since you
Here
all
we
picked me
go.
up.
Mm-hmm.
Simply put, I, of course, am a succubus. I still need to eat, but there are alternative forms of energy. I actually found, while jaunting around the Feywild, or at least part of the Feywild, admiration of the simple pleasures of life can be just as delicious a snack as human lust. And so I simply prick my finger and leave a small little mark on the person, and any admiration that the people have, onlookers have for the haircut that I have given them for about 3 months' time, will be siphoned off to me. I have a continuous snack, and nobody's tempted to do any dark things. They just have a nice haircut. I think that's a pretty good deal. I get fed and nobody gets hurt.
So how does she get the energy?
Girl's gotta make a living, I guess, you know?
People
Yes,
look
well,
at her nice haircuts.
yes. The mark does fade over the course of 3 months, so not too long. I have found that these scissors can sometimes imbue small charms or blessings with a little bit extra months added on, but they're kind of hard to weave into the haircut, so I don't always give them out. Typically, I would like to trade for something more, a magical trinket, or maybe some gold for that, but other than that, seems like a pretty sound business model to me. I'm just trying to find a good place to set up shop, a nice, quiet, out of the way place.
If you'd like, Drake's Ridge is pretty out of the way, and Lord knows they need a hairdresser.
Oh.
For all 20
Hey.
people in Drake's Ridge.
Drake's Ridge does have a few hundred people there. It's not a
Well,
tiny
Now
ghost
that Lyla
town, but
left, there's like 50 less people. So.
damn.
Accurate.
Okay.
It's funny, I've never seen the mayor and the tavern keeper in the same place at the same time.
I've seen Lyla and the mayor in the same room before.
Oh my.
That is certainly a place I will consider if I can manage to get a ship out there.
What now? You
Well, I'm
fancy
just going to
staying
wait for
there?
Skullport unless anybody else wants a haircut.
Maybe you can ask some of the crew. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm gonna pipe up in Velantrios' head like, hey, we got a infernal lady here. Do you want to ask her about your pops?
Um,
Oh God.
Blanche is like, so if I can ask you something rather personal to me,
All right.
what do you know of Asmodeus?
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
I mostly stuck around the court of Grozd, but as far as I'm aware, Asmodeus is stern, definitely one for rules and regulations and all of that. Definitely has a temper, has quite the temper. Very powerful. I've typically stayed away from his courts. And yeah, that's all that I really know.
Do you know if he ever, had any human lovers?
Oh, tons.
Really?
It
Great.
was more of something along the lines of, I guess you could say, sex toy of the week.
Oh my.
Yeah, I definitely like snorts and like laughs a little bit.
How prolific.
Oh, what about what do you know about like his children?
Well, he certainly has quite a few. Um, I would hazard a guess. Um, yeah, definitely quite a few. Some of them not conceived through sexual intercourse, some of them are conceived through magic, potions, spells. One woman was unfortunate to get struck with a lightning bolt and end up with a child of Asmodeus, but regardless, um, he does have quite a few children.
Right. And how are they?
Most of them serve him to some degree. Um, that's the way he prefers it. His children are more of pawns to him, admittedly. Some of them don't. They all have their own infernal powers, of course. Some more than
Really?
others, particularly the ones that serve Asmodeus, gain more and more powers, but you're not left without them, Fire resistance, a few spells. Burning Hands, I know, is a particular one. Really nothing more than that for those that don't directly serve Asmodeus.
All
But
right.
they're not
That,
left without nothing.
well, thanks for that. I really
Of
appreciate it.
course. Are you hunting one in particular?
Nope.
Real pain in
Nope.
the ass.
Nope, definitely not.
I've heard they're pretty much well left alone.
Well, I wouldn't say well left alone, but you know. Anyway,
How about that weather?
Freak
well, I
storms
certainly
around
wish it
here.
would be a little bit more
Oh.
sunny, but Shadowfell is the
Absolutely.
Shadowfell.
Just dreadful. Who's for tea?
I can whip up some. Well, I don't know if I feel up to tea today.
Can we do alcohol today?
Alcohol might be good.
Yeah. How's
Flask.
your flask looking?
Running a little dry here.
Maybe
Yeah,
someone on the
sure.
ship has something.
Well,
There's
yeah,
probably
well,
like a barrel or two of grog that you all could bust
Oh.
open.
Christ, no. We'll finish on
Disgusting.
the flask. Absolutely not. Fuck. I don't hate myself that much.
All right. So I guess you all have alcohol of some
The rest
kind.
Lila's whiskey, I guess.
The rest of Lila's whiskey. It's not very much. Everyone gets like half a snifter of whiskey
Yeah.
and passes it around.
We should have picked up a bottle of your brother's rosé before we left.
I wonder what your hut guy would trade for a flask full of whiskey.
My who?
The hut guy. I don't know, Jed.
My hut guy?
Huckster, that guy.
Oh, the huckster.
The hut guy.
Yeah, no. I don't think you want to go around asking him for nothing. My advice is if he approaches you, you answer. And hope he doesn't approach you, that is.
So the rest of the day passes as it gets close to nighttime, or at least what you think might be nighttime. It's definitely going to be several hours. You begin passing large bones sticking up out of the water. You begin to see banks of dark black sand. And then you see a lighthouse on a rock. The cold, blue, almost wintry light silently moving around. You see more rocks, more waves, and you begin to see more boats.
This is very concerning.
And soon you hear a sound above the whispering that you almost forgot was whispering in your ears constantly. And it's a really strange sound. It's steel drums. A happy tropical island tune. Basically, over the waves.
Amazing.
The fog begins to clear, and you see a huge, ramshackle port city built around a giant one-eyed skull. The skull itself is probably 100 feet tall, sat and nestled into the bank of the sort of black sand, and built up around it are multiple houses, ramshackle, various ports and taverns and things. Docks jut out into the water of twisted wood. As you continue to hear the steel drums, you see lights, you see people, undead mostly, walking around. Some of them have drinks in their hands, and occasionally you see an image, a skull with some flesh still on it, and a magnificent tricorn pirate hat. The illusion appears in a sort of misty blue that lets off a sort of joyous laugh that bobs up and down and announces, "Welcome to Skullport. Have yourself a merry old time. We have plenty of drinks. Rum flows like water here. Careful, you might spend too much gold." Before vanishing. It seems there's other
that sounds
illusions
promising.
floating around. And at this point, Zelina simply says, "Well, this is my stop. I don't know if you all will be stopping or passing, but I'm going to be going there. So it was lovely to see you. I hope to see you again." And she simply
Bye.
waves down. As you look down, there's a little rowboat that comes by with a robed figure on that looks up. The similar sort of face with the horrible pulled back lips and teeth. "Hello, are you headed to Skullport?"
Oh.
Great.
Are we?
And she just hops off the boat and lands in the ferryman's boat as the ferryman turns and heads
Love it.
towards Skullport.
Are we going to Skullport or not?
Bye.
I can't remember.
I'm not sure if it would be a wise idea to stop at Skullport, seeing the large amount of undead. And we did, in fact, stock up as much as we could on food and other provisions for the purpose of skipping Skullport. However, if y'all want to go, I won't stop you. I've heard it is a den of gamblers that will swindle you to your last copper piece and the laces on your shoes.
Oh, is it now?
A true hive of scum and villainy.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
what?
is-
Nobody else?
I asked.
Well, I was just gonna say Velantrios is gonna look at Shaw with a lot of concern.
I was just like shuffling her cards back and forth. Just
I don't like.
I think
Look
we're
at that
good.
architecture. It's gonna fall into the ocean any minute.
Don't we have somewhere to be?
We are on a
everybody's got
time
a pooper, that's
crunch.
why we invite
Yeah.
you.
I would like to find our targets as soon as possible.
Spoil all the fun, why don't you?
Who are our targets again?
Wow.
Oh, just the whole reason we're out here, you know.
Oh.
It's the criminals who survived the boat crash. Remember the
Yeah.
beginning of the game.
Yes. Okay.
What's her name and her friends?
What's her name and her friends? Oh my God.
Exactly.
Her
You
name's
got it.
Her name's Corrigan.
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 Damn that fucking idiot Virgil.
Yeah.
I've had the displeasure of meeting 2 of our quarry.
Yeah.
So I vote we pass.
I think Jed's gonna
Yeah.
Lila's flask is empty though.
Oh, then should have bought that alchemy jug.
Shit.
It did have both ale and wine.
Sad day.
I could make an alchemy jug, maybe. Can't be that hard.
I think that literally is one of the infusions.
It's one of the
is an
infusions
alchemy
I have the
jug.
option of picking up.
Cool.
Make it dispense mayonnaise.
Yes,
We
it
don't
can.
know what we're gonna use that mayonnaise for. Oh.
I don't like that.
That's such a bad option. Like, why put mayonnaise on there?
I know, it was so weird. I was thinking of forcibly replacing it, but I was like, no, I'm sure someone's going to use it for something funny. Anyway,
Ugh.
so you
Gotta eat, right?
So the boat creaks on, and eventually the whispers return as the steel drums fade into the distance as you fully pass Skullport. The ship rocks slowly as you enter a more forested area, more rocks, and eventually you end up on a river, a wide river with seemingly actual water. And as the ship hurtles forward at about a knot more, maybe, than what it was going before, you pass out of the forest. As you look around, you realize the river is probably about 700 feet wide. But on either side, there's nothing but open, empty space. The water is flowing across the void, stars below you, stars above you. And you begin to pass by a great tree, miles in the distance. Huge, dark, encompassing almost the whole sky. Its dark leaves blotting out the stars. But amongst its branches, you see castles, cathedrals, buildings. There is an entire city in this tree. And you rock on by.
Velantrios is instantly interested.
Obviously.
However, nobody says anything.
Wait,
It seems.
wait, no!
Do we know what it is?
I mean, probably not. The Shadowfell system is kind of one of those places that not a lot of people go, and so there are rumors about things. But there's a
Insight
possibility you might not know.
Insight check.
Or you should just ask Leonidas.
It wouldn't be an insight check. It would be something like a nature check or a history check or an arcana check.
Nature
Hey
check.
Leonidas, what's that place?
I believe we are passing by the Blackened Oak. That's the only thing I know, is that it's called the Blackened Oak.
Nature check.
Can I history check Blackened Oak?
Sure.
11.
11.
Oh, guidance on Chauncey.
Gee,
Ooh.
thanks.
You already rolled an 11. It's gonna be shit
Too
no
late.
matter what.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, honestly.
history check with
14.
guidance, and my bonus is what is that? 19.
19.
Is it in one of Daddy's books at home?
No. However, it's quite possible they didn't go too far into the Shadowfell or even into the Shadowfell at all. However, this does take a very similar shape to legends of old where elves used to live in cities and trees. Perhaps there's elves here, and perhaps they live in the Blackened Oak.
Drow more like.
Yeah, Chauncey's was like, I mean, there are old elven cities that were built in giant trees, but are elves native to the Shadowfell system?
Not likely.
Then
At this
again, is
point,
anything native to any of the systems anymore since the
I was
world
about to say.
I would say Toshiko at this point, she's been quiet for quite some time, comes out.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about Toshiko.
Okay.
Yeah, Oki the Lantern,
Oki.
kind of sweeping by. I have heard that there are two kinds of elf that live here. The Drow, but they are not native. But I have heard that there are the Shadar Kai that are native to the Shadowfell, and perhaps it is one of their cities. I do not know much about them. I just know that they exist.
Can I do a nature check on them?
You can try.
Yes, 23.
Elves are interesting creatures. Legend has it, they came from a land far away, somewhere in the Shadowfell. They used to be formless, but then they were tricked into gaining a form and their god abandoned them. But the ever-changing nature of the elf took over, and so a variety of elves came about. Elves that adapted to their environment, elves that moved to cities became high elves, elves that moved into the woods became the wood elves, sun elves, moon elves, sea elves. It's possible that there are elves that live here. It is possible that there are elves adapted to living in the Shadowfell and calling themselves the Shadar Kai. Sounds like these would be the elves native to the Shadowfell. They possibly have powers related to shadows, possibly related to the dead. That's all you would be able to glean from it.
Okay, you know what? Never mind. If it's all just gonna be doom and gloom, then I have no interest.
We're in the shadow.
We're in the Shadowfell.
What do you expect to
Okay,
be
but
here, Velantrios?
So are we, but we're not exactly doom and gloom either.
I mean,
We aren't a city.
There's plenty of doom and gloom here.
Honestly, yes. Another city to pass by.
Next.
The lovely sightseeing tour, check.
Still
It's like a bus
shuffling
tour
her
of
car.
Europe.
My little stamp book.
I went to Black Oak and all I got was this stupid coffee mug.
It's in the shape of the black oak.
Yeah,
It's just, it literally looks like a head of broccoli with a hole in the top.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
So soon another day passes. The river begins to narrow as you pass by debris floating in the air, and soon you find yourselves face to face with a giant skull miles high, its mouth open, the skull, the crown of the skull carved into cities around it, the eyes wide open as the river flows in one side and out the other. We're going to be going through that. I've heard it's at least a little bit more pretty inside there, but we still have to keep our wits about us. There are things that live inside that skull.
And
I mean, look at it. Of course,
yeah.
What is this skull called?
It is the skull of Mogud.
Oh,
So
what?
Apparently,
so there
it
was a
was an
place over
old.
there called Skullport, and the place that is literally a skull and a port is not. Whatever. I'm moving on.
I assume when you live in a place that is all doom and gloom, creatively naming things is not high on the list of things to do.
It's right there. It's just
It would be hilarious if it was just more and more skull Skulls just progressively get more like giant and extravagant.
They could have at least just done the simple east skull port, west skull port, south skull port.
Is there really a north, south, east, west out here, though? I feel.
I
Skull
mean, it
on the
might be a little
port.
bit hard to figure out, especially when things are orbiting and rotating and all that other stuff. It's one of the hardest
New
parts about
skull
sailing out
port.
here.
Old school port.
Well,
This is
We're-
East Skull Port, the skull of the cousin of the Skull Port.
Yes.
Are we stopping?
We're
at
very
this,
tired.
or are we just going? We're just sailing through this, right?
we are
Yeah.
sailing straight on through.
I don't know about just, though. We're aiming to sail through.
Well, either way, we're hoping to get out as unscathed as possible.
How
Whether
long
or
of a-
not that happens remains to be seen. The ship
Cross your fingers, everybody.
continues down this river as it begins to narrow to only a few hundred feet wide instead of 700. It flows into the eye of the skull. And as you pass through, it reminds you somewhat of the cave that the Sheldrake sat in before. As you look up to see almost a night sky of twinkling stars, almost giant barrel vaults of what appear to be some sort of glass-like amethyst. It seems to drip and pour into almost architecture, but it's cave-like, stalactites and stalagmites everywhere.
Are there any people?
I'm just gonna go ahead and cast Mage Armor on myself.
There are a few people,
I feel
skeletons
uncomfortable.
and zombies,
Okay.
wandering around, shadows. You even see a few more of these bone birds fighting over some sort of scrap of something that might be another bone bird that had died recently.
And what did Shaw say? What?
I just put Mage Armor on myself because I feel very uncomfortable here.
Okay.
Armor of Agathis.
girls?
You see floating motes of things. It seems that also the amethyst seems to form into other shapes. Skulls, hands, bridges, and other types of actual architecture. And as you sail on, you sail into a tunnel. This tunnel has a lot more rock in it. Perhaps bone. It seems to be made of this sort of packed together skeletons, almost as if somebody packed skeletons together and poured a little bit of concrete over them to keep them in place, almost like the architecture of crypt, with amethyst pieces sticking out. It becomes eerily quiet. You do see a few dark mantles floating around, but suddenly they all fly away rather quickly.
Oh boy.
Shit.
Chauncey's just gone.
And
I'm
so
gonna
you
summon
only
my
need-
shadow spawn.
And luckily,
spooky.
as you conjure it, you notice there's a shadow following you. And as you look up, it's a huge manta ray-like creature, a horrible twisted face with mandibles as it seems to flap its way through the air, its tail whipping back and forth with a huge barb on the end, before it lets out a horrible. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode. So join us next week as we
Wonderful,
find out
lovely.
friend or foe, probably foe. It's my favorite game. So join us next week as we continue through the Shadowfell system and hopefully actually get to Ashenhold.